Thank you, Sandy. Great to be here today, and thank you everyone for taking the time to join here, and of course those of you after the fact watching the video afterwards. So to get started, I will just get the screen share going here. And just a moment. All right, and with any luck, everybody should be able to see that. If anybody could confirm you can see it okay, I will get started. Thanks so much. All right, so the first thing to know is that when you're on the HCBC website under competitions and you're indicating you want to sanction the competition, there will be a link to bring you over to the horsesport.pro domain name, and then you'll want to, from your account, choose to log in. When you're here the first time, it is going to look rather bland because we don't have any branding here, because it is going to be branded as the organization you log into the first time. So the first time visit, you're going to not see any logos or anything. So it's important underneath the sport organization here to select Horse Council of British Columbia as who you're going to be logging into. It's important to note that the username and the password here are the same as your Horse Council of British Columbia login, okay? So this could be your membership number as the username, or if you've created a username, you'll just use the same username that you log into your membership system with. If you have trouble with your username or password here, it will then pop up a link down here after you've selected Horse Council BC to bring you to the login help page for the main membership system. So if you have trouble logging in, do just reset your password in the membership system, make sure that you can get in there all okay, and then you can come back to here and log in, and that should be successful for you. Once you do log in, you're going to see that now that you've identified that, yep, we're in here as Horse Council BC, you're going to see their logo, of course, and it's going to now be branded as Horse Council BC. When you first log in, you'll land in your dashboard and you'll be able to see which competitions you already have created or started to work on. And as this point here, if it's your first time in here, of course, it is going to be blank here, and you'll just have a blue alert indicating you don't have any competitions so far. So we're going to start off by creating our first competition here today. We're going to click the green button and away we go. The first decision you get to make is whether or not you're offering a provincial Horse Council BC competition or an EC competition if it's going to be bronze or silver and handled through the HCBC office. So you're going to use the select these rules button besides the one that applies to you. In this webinar today, we are going to just focus on the provincial competitions, but note that the EC competitions, the workflow here is going to be pretty well identical. It's just going to ask you a couple of other questions on some of the screens. So we're going to choose select these rules for the provincial one, and away we go. It's going to start off with a bunch of reading for you, of course, and we do ask that you read this. Of course, it does actually confirm some of the things you as an organizer need to be aware of. And there is going to be some declarations in here to confirm you've read that, of course. Scrolling down, we're going to start off with some bunch of data entry here. So at this point, we're going to have to do some typing. So Trainer Bob is the name of my demo user I'm using here today. So he's going to have a big show. And we'll put in the year. We'll do 2022, of course, at this point. And we're going to have this start off here. We're going to jump over to March here for this guy, March 5th, we'll say, coming up shortly. And we'll have this go to the 6th. So just a 2-day event there. The location field is intended to be like the name of the facility. So I'm going to use Chilliwack Heritage Park here as an example.
Colin, for your end date, you've got February.
Oh, thanks for that. That would have given me an issue later on, and I could have shown you how that works. But let's skip that and jump into March. Thank you. And we're going to throw in here just a fake address because I don't know what the actual address is here, but that's fine. This purpose for demo. And we're going to have BC here, B2R1. And the website of the this guy here, we'll just have bobsbigshow.com. This is optional, of course, if you don't have a website. Introduction. This introduction is going to show up in the competitions calendar on Horse Council BC's website. So do actually consider what you put in here, of course, and be aware that that will be public information here. And your insurance carrier, of course, this will just be the name of your insurance carrier. There will be another screen at a later time where you upload a certificate of insurance. But at this point of the process, we're just going to collect just the name. So just for demo purposes, I'll use Capri, of course. So moving on then, we're indicating that the level here is provincial. If this was a national show, you wouldn't be able to indicate here which level of national show, as well as the level of prize money, as that can affect the fees. In this case here, though, of course, if you know that your game is a BC Summers game qualifier, for example, you'd want to check off that box there. We do ask you for the website again here, and please do put that in here. This is just going to a different part of the system. So please do put that in twice at the moment. We will actually be cleaning that up for you to only have to put it in once, though, in the near future. Medical officer information, of course, you want to fill that in there. We've got, we'll just go Colin, no, we'll do Sally Smith. Or and then the person responsible, this is the person, of course, that's legally responsible for this event. It will also be the contact person on the that shows up on the calendar, of course, as well. So please do give that some consideration here. We're going to pull, it is going to pull this in from your account when you're logged in as you. If it's not you, then you should change this to whoever it is that you're doing that for. However, here you need to type your name to sign. So the truth is really, we do expect the person who is the person responsible to at least get this initial competition created here. So please do consider that if you're not the person responsible, you may not be the best person to be filling this out. And hopefully you're signing it today. Next up, payment details. It's going to show you what you owe if you have different fees for different types of events. Of course, there'll be a bit more of a breakdown here. There is the ability to pay with your credit card or debit, or Visa debit or MasterCard debit right here. However, if you don't wish to pay that way and you wanted to mail a check, then please click the Pay Later button here instead of filling out all of this information below. So if you click Pay Later, there's no need to fill out the details about the card payment processor, okay? At the very bottom, though, you do need to check that I have reviewed the above information and confirm that it is accurate to the best of my knowledge. You do have the opportunity to make any changes to this information, though, at a later time, okay? So with that, we're going to create our competition. And if I didn't have any further typos, we're going to get a success, green success here, indicating that you're ready to go and continue on with the process. So at this point, you've created the event, and we're now going to fill out a few more details inside of the main application. What you have here as an application is this left-hand panel here, or these tabs, left-hand tabs, allow you to navigate through the different main areas. And your goal as an organizer is to end up with an approved check mark beside each one of these when you're done the process, okay? In order to get those check marks, the office staff are going to review your application. So when you believe that you have all of the information in here correctly, you will want to click the Request Admin Approval button in order to get that process started. I'll show that, though, at the end of entering in the data. On this General Information tab, we do have the same information that you entered in earlier. So this year, you can, if there was something that was wrong, you could come in here and change that. If your medical officer changed before you got final approval, of course, change it here. The same thing here with the person responsible. If there's a change here, that could be done as well. The notes from the organizer, you can save this here. If there's something that's odd or unique about your case, about your competition, you're able to put these notes in here, and the admin team at the Horse Council BC office will be able to see those as they review your application. Moving on then to the next tab, the Finance tab here. This here is the ability to pay later. So, hey, you still have a chance to pay later. If you did change your mind and you weren't setting in that check, you certainly could still make a payment by credit card. Maybe you just didn't have the competition's credit card handy or available at that time. So you can fill that in here. If you did mail in a check to the office, when they receive your check and process it, they will update this page for you and mark this area as approved. Over on the disciplines now, pretty straightforward. We just need to indicate which disciplines we're offering here. So scroll down, find whichever disciplines you're offering. And in this case, I'll click on vaulting and click on Save Disciplines. Okay, so with that done, this one was a quick auto approval, pretty straightforward. So now you can see you've got your first check mark on your tabs on the left. Over to a certificate of insurance, pretty straightforward here. We do give you the template, so you can download this file here. And when you have that file downloaded, in another window, open that up. Copy path. When you have that file downloaded, you're going to want to email that to your insurance provider, typically Capri or someone like that, and they will be able to fill out that PDF specific for your organization and send it back to you. And then when you have that file received in your email, you'll want to download that to your computer and then choose the file from your computer and upload that file. It is going to tell you then, okay, received, your certificate has been received and is waiting approval and review here. Just a second, apologies for the bings there. Let me tell this to be quieter. So the other thing, this green message just confirming it was uploaded successfully as well. And if you see this here telling you that it is uploaded, you can know that we've received it okay, even though you yourself aren't able to sort of see it yourself at this point, okay? Over on the officials, here's where you can basically indicate which officials are judging your event. There's two main buttons here, as well as the guest cards to consider. So the guest card is when you're going to apply for a guest card under the rules of a guest card, versus adding an official from the database means that it's an official who you know is in the Horse Council BC officials database, versus add other official would be someone who doesn't need a guest card according to the rules, but they're not in the database because they're probably from a different province. Maybe they're coming over from Alberta, okay? So I'm going to choose to add an official from the database. This here is searching the same database with the same public information that's available through the Horse Council BC's official database. So I'm just going to search for myself here and click search. And then you're going to find who you were looking for, hopefully. It'll confirm the information that that person has made available or indicated may be available. And then if that looks good, and you can see that they are current. If they're not current, of course, you'll want to reach out to them and discuss that and see if that can be rectified first or work with another official. But if all is good, click add official to the competition. Of course, if they're not current and you do add them to the event, the office is not going to approve them until they are. Of course, it returns here that you may have more than one official, so it does stay on here, and then you could clear the name and enter in somebody else in order to search again. And when you're done adding your officials, you should then click the back to competition button in order to return to the main screen here. At this point, we can see that the status is that your competition officials are waiting to be reviewed by the office. Moving on to guest cards here. If we did need to add a guest card, we're going to click on that guest card button. It is going to just have an extra notice here to confirm that you understand what we're looking for here. And then we'll click the add guest card button, fill in the details here. This is the equivalent of the guest card paper form, asks the same questions. And down below, keep in mind, it is going to require that history and those references. I won't actually add this now. And heading back to the main screen then for the next area. So for the prize list here, we just need two things from you, and you're going to upload just PDFs of your prize list and your entry form. So clicking the Open File Manager button is going to give you a place here where you can either browse by clicking on the Browse link here, or you can just drag and drop some files here. So I'm going to just grab that certificate of insurance file I had again, pretending that that's my prize list. You can, if it's more than one file, that's okay. You can upload more than one file, and then click on the Start Upload button when you're done. It's going to confirm it's here. You can click on the link to download it if you needed it later, of course, here. But other than that, you're good to go. Once you've uploaded each of those, just click on the X to close that off. Entry form works the same way. Click on the Open File Manager. You can drag and drop or click on that Browse link. Again, the Browse link is right here. And click Start Upload after you've selected your files, and up it goes. So that's uploading your entry form and your prize list into the system. At this point, you've put in all of the information you need for the office to be able to review and approve your application, assuming that you've either sent off the check or made the payment. And at this point, you're then able to request admin approval. So on all of these different screens here, this button is on the screen in the same place. It doesn't matter which one you click on. You don't have to click on this once per screen. This is going to just submit your entire competition. And then request admin approval, and off you go. So at this point, it's now going to say success. Your information is received and is awaiting approval. So at this point, you are done. You can log out and basically wait for yourself to get notification through email from the system about status changes from the office staff. You can look for emails from no reply at horseport.pro. You may want to add that to your contacts in order to help make sure that that doesn't show up in your spam filter or anything like that. And at that point, the next steps of the approval process, if everything checks out, you're simply going to get a notification email that your competition is approved. After doing that, you will be able to log in and come to the event certificate page, which I won't show you today, but on this page, you'll just simply have a download button to be able to download your event certificate. If there were any issues with the event, such as missing information or needing to change any of the details, you will be instructed on what is needed in that email, and you'll be able to log back into the system. You'll be looking at the same user interface. You can revisit any of these tabs here at any time and update the information. After you've made those change requests, the requested changes, then please just click on the request admin approval button again, let them know what you've done or updated, and away you go. So that completes the tour of the basic walkthrough of creating a competition. And at this point here, we are going to check for questions here in the chat and or open it up for any questions. I don't see any questions yet in the chat, so feel free to throw them in the chat box or just unmute yourself and ask your question.
Colin, what's the post competition?
Okay, thank you, Sandy, for saying so. And I did forget about that piece, and I should have. The post competition area is going to show up after your event is complete. There will be additional buttons to click on there that are going to ask you for your post competition report. These are things that you typically would have filled out on a PDF file and emailed the office staff in the past, but you can now enter those same details right here in the system instead, which should be less work and simpler to do. So it's the same details that you'd put on a PDF for the post competition report, but you can just enter them into the system here.
Colin, it's Liz Saunders. You had zone. We have different zones for different things. Summer Games has one, 55 plus for another. How is things going to be recognized?
Let me just confirm here with the level. Just trying to remember where we saw the zone.
Me
I don't actually remember seeing that. I don't think we have that showing up here for that exact reason. But
no, you had zone written in there somewhere, but I can't remember where it was. I didn't.
Okay, my bad. I don't remember where that was exactly. I'm having a
Me either.
level. The short answer though is yeah, Horse Council BC does for a number of reasons have to use some different alignment on those things depending on what they're doing, like BC Summer Games. So I think in terms of how it's communicated, which of those zones you're in for this particular event is something that I think we'll probably want to talk to Sandy about in order to get that displayed here, depending on some other input. But we certainly can take a look at the city name and tell you which zone and which region you're in. Those are the two main descriptions that we use. So Sandy, let's talk about that after in sometime this week, and we can get that added in here.
Okay.
Good question, and thank you, Liz.
Anyone else have any questions? Nope.
It looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it's super easy to use. So I hope that everybody will sanction their show. But if you have any trouble at all, you can always email me with any questions. We are going to put, it will be on the organizers page of the website. So if, need a refresher or, can't remember something, you can always click on the link and this whole tutorial will be available on there. Other than that, I guess if there's no other questions, I guess we're good. So Colin, thank you very much for taking the time to explain this to us. And yeah, that's it. So thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was pretty good. That should work fairly smoothly, I would hope.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.